Alright, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos about business conferences, great companies from all around the world. Today I'm happy to present you CEO of Celsius Network, Alex Mashinsky. Alex, thanks for coming to our TV show.
Thanks for having me. Sure.
And we spoke with you, Alex, nearly 6 months ago, as you remember, in Paris. You told us your story about from how you went from VIP to almost money over IP, right? How you are calling this.
Yeah.
So, but if you can make quick summary about what is Celsius network is about, because maybe not all of our subscribers have watched that video. So can you make a little bit introduction about who you are and what is your company is doing?
Sure. So Celsius is a membership organization. We have over 100,000 members, people who downloaded the app, either on the App Store or Android. And what the app allows you to do is to unbank yourself. It allows you to stop using your bank as the primary source of taking deposits or getting loans. And Celsius pays 5, 6, 7 times more interest than the bank does. And we issue loans at much lower rates than what the bank charges you on your credit card or other ways. And basically almost all of our members are pre-approved to take loans out of the company. So today we've paid several $1 million in interest. And we paid more Bitcoin and Ethereum as interest income to BTC depositors than all the other people put together. Now, after 2 years of doing it, companies like Binance and Coinbase have started paying interest as well. But we still, most of these guys pay more or less what the banks pay, where Celsius pays 5 to 7 times more than your bank. So this way, it's not just that you're working hard for your money, it's also your money now works for you while you are doing what you're doing. And that's what's missing today, especially in Europe and Asia, where rates are either negative or zero. It's very difficult for people to earn a yield on their hard-earned money.
I see. Thanks about that. Actually, you answered my second question, because I was wanted to ask about your feedback about that Binance is basically is copying your idea and trying to do the similar with their users. But you already say that.
So yeah, let me maybe explain that, because people think that it's the same. So Binance has over 2 million customers, but when they run the interest, and the first 200 customers get to participate, but everybody else has to wait on the waiting list.
Okay.
And with Celsius, 100% of the users get the interest. You understand? It's not a lottery. It's not something that, if you're lucky or if you know someone, you're going to get it. But rather, our entire mission is to earn interest or earn returns for our depositors. So Binance is doing it to keep their customers from leaving for Celsius. Celsius is doing it so all of us will have a financial future and will have a dream. Now we can really dream, right? Because we see the light at the end of the tunnel, where before, with the banks and everybody else who's charging us hefty fees, not paying us anything for our money, it ends up that the poor people are the ones paying for all of the profits that the banks make.
I see. And yeah, you already told us about situation with traditional banking in Europe and America, that interest rate is so low one, even in some countries is negative one. It's like, for me, when I first time came and I saw this situation, for me it was like, I was surprised that how I need to pay my money for putting my money into a bank. And it's like, I'm glad that you came with some solution to change the situation on the market. And you say that actually I'm right now on your website. And
just to comment.
Yeah.
The amazing thing is that the banks are more profitable than ever, but they pay the lowest amount ever. So how can it be? How can it be that all these banks that are paying us almost nothing or negative rates. If you look at their balance sheet, if you look at their quarterly statement that they tell their investors, they're showing their investors that they're making more money than ever in history. So there's a complete disconnect between how much they're giving to the depositor and how much they're giving to the shareholder. So the banks now are giving the most ever. They take from the depositor and they give to the shareholder. And Celsius does the opposite. Celsius takes from the hedge funds, from the exchanges. They have to pay us to borrow the coins, and we give 80% back to the depositor. That's what no one has done before, right? No one has given so much to the depositor.
Yeah, that's good, really. I like this one. Alex, we spoke with you 6 months ago. Can you briefly explain what happened with Celsius Network during the last 6 months that we'll understand what you did it during this last 6 months?
So we increased, we just announced our numbers. We did, 6 months ago, we announced 2.25 billion in loans. We just announced this week that we did 4.25. So we almost doubled the loans that we've issued. And because of that, we've earned a lot of money for our depositors. And every Monday, we distribute coins and dollars to our depositors. So we took the worst day of the week, which is Monday. You have a nice weekend, and then you have to go back to work. And we made it a little bit better, because the first thing you get on a Monday is an email that says you've earned interest, right? So that's something that I think is very important, both mentally and physically for a lot of people, because, again, they feel that, again, somebody is helping them. Somebody's pushing them forward instead of pulling them down, right? And earning interest is something that most of us forgot that it's even possible. So we've passed, like I said, over 100,000 users, downloads. We have over 400 million in deposits. That's money people gave us to manage for them.
Wow.
And so we're moving very, very quickly. And it's not because we are so good. It's because that all the other people are so bad, right? The banks, the exchanges, they're all stealing from you. And every day you have to decide. Every time you use a credit card, every time you make a deposit, you are empowering the banks and the financial institution and the exchanges to basically steal from you. Coinbase bragged how they made $2 billion in income since 2014. Binance bragging about how they made $1 billion in profit in the last 3 years. Where do you think all that money came from? It comes from all of us, and it goes to the shareholders. It doesn't stay in the community. Celsius does the opposite. Celsius earns money from these people and then goes and buys BTC and ETH and puts BTC and ETH in your wallet. So you have to decide who do you want to support? Do you want to support the people who are fighting for you, or you want to support the people who are stealing from you?
Wow, that's really a very powerful message, and I agree completely with you. Now, if you are speaking about numbers, I actually really amazed about the volume what you have right now after our last meetup, right? But my next question will be, where do you see Celsius Network, for example, in 5, in 10 years? For example, if you double your numbers in 6 months, what will be in 5, 10 years?
So look, we're still a very small company compared to JP Morgan or Citibank or any of the big banks, right? We're really fighting against the banks. We're not fighting against other crypto companies, right? We're trying to convince people that banks are not your friends. Banks are not acting in your best interest. Banks take from the poor and give to the rich, right? As an example, in the United States, the 4 largest banks charge the poorest Americans $34 billion with a B, $billion in overdraft fees, right?
Wow.
And they took all that money and they gave it to the shareholders as dividends and stock buybacks. So that kind of practice should be illegal anywhere in the world, not just in the United States. And the fact that we live in a world where banks feel that they can keep doing it, pay zero, and also steal in the forms of fees, tells you that we have no one else to blame. We can only blame ourselves, because every one of the people that uses this bank is enabling them to continue doing what they're doing. So Celsius decided to create a new system that replaces that behavior with a company that always acts in your best interest. In 2 years, we have not charged a single person any fees, any penalties. The opposite, we only make deposits into your account. Our entire business is every week to make a deposit into your account. We never withdraw anything out. We never charge any fees. We don't have penalties. We don't have early termination. You can withdraw all your money anytime you want, and all of that is done in your best interest. It's funny because in Celsius, the largest shareholder is me. So if I wanted to steal, it would be stealing for myself, but I'm also one of the biggest depositors. So I don't need to steal for myself. I can just give myself the same interest that I'm paying all of our other depositors. And this way, there's no conflict between the depositor and the shareholder, right? Because we're both on the same side. So these are the kind of things that, unfortunately, financial institutions have not done. 700 years of banking, there has never been a company like Celsius that only cared about the deposit.
Wow, good one. And but still, in your opinion, where you will be in 5 years in your do you
Look, our mission, if you look at our white paper from 2017, our mission has been to bring 100 million people into blockchain, into cryptocurrencies. Like I said, we're at 100,000. So we have to do another 1,000x to get to where we need to get to. And the way we're going to get there is we want to bring people from outside the crypto community, not just people inside the crypto community, because crypto is pretty small, right? We want to go and convince people that use a credit card or use a check or use a direct deposit to stop using the bank and use the blockchain as an alternative to the financial system. And that's going to take some time, but we're off to a good start. And I can promise you that, let's say we had $100 billion in deposits, the banks, the big banks who have trillions in deposits are not going to increase their interest rate just because Celsius is 100 billion, right? Because we're still going to be too small. So we have a lot of time on before we will become a real competitor to the mega banks, right? They perfected their stealing for 700 years, right? We're just a new kid on the block.
Don't you afraid that, sorry for such question, don't you afraid that really for banks maybe it will be simply easy to destroy your company, I mean to destroy you rather than because you are a big competitor for them?
So I always joke that I practiced on the phone companies before I picked up the fight with the bank. So if you remember the phone companies, the ones like you and me that are a little bit older, the phone companies used to charge us $2-3 a minute to call overseas. They used to charge us 20-30 cents a minute to make a call to your neighbor. And now we do all of that for free, right? So Voice over IP became a decentralized service where peer, like right now we're using Voice over IP on this app. And we're doing it for free, right? The phone company doesn't get anything. They're not in the middle, a toll collector charging us for it, right? So the same way we do Voice over IP, and now 4 billion people use it every day, we can basically do the same thing with Money over IP and enable all these people from all over the world to not use the toll collector, to bypass all of the banks and all the other thieves, and really work with companies that are acting in your best interest, just like Skype or WhatsApp and so on are always acting in your best interest. They don't charge you anything. The same way Celsius does it anymore, it deposits money in your account every week. So I think the value proposition is very simple, and the rails or what we use under the system is a blockchain. But most people don't need even to understand or know what the blockchain is. All they see is they make a deposit, they earn interest, they can withdraw at any time, and they're earning 5, 6, 7% per year, which is amazing compared to what their banks will pay them.
I see. Okay.
But we really try to simplify with something that they can use every day.
I see. Also, I saw a couple of your interviews and articles, and in many articles you are making small prediction about prices of Bitcoin in near future. For example, in your opinion, what will be the price? I know it's very hard to say, but in your opinion, can you comment about price of Bitcoin, especially in May next year is going to be halving? So can you comment something on that?
So my predictions, I will make a prediction and explain why the prediction, why I'm making a prediction, right? So we had two periods in the past with Bitcoin where we basically cut the amount of Bitcoin being produced, the mining, by half. So basically, the way Satoshi built the protocol is that every 4 years, the amount that is being paid to the mining companies is being cut by half.
Yeah.
So we had a happening, it's called a happening, right? We had that 4 years ago, and we had that 8 years ago. So it already happened twice. And each time, the amount of new coins that are being sold into the market, because the mining companies, they have to pay electricity, they have to pay salaries, so they have to sell their Bitcoin. And if there's less Bitcoin coming into market and there is more people using Bitcoin, then the price will go up, right? And every time you can see after the happening, or every 4 years, you can see the price actually going up. Sometimes it takes 3 months, sometimes it takes 3 days, but it goes up after that period. So I'm predicting the next happening is May of 2020, so about 7 months from now. And I'm predicting that the price after that will go up to new highs. So basically, between August and December of 2020, the price of Bitcoin is going to be above 20,000. I predicted that it's going to go to 25 or 26,000 because there's going to be a lot of people selling up 20,000 because they're all waiting for the price to get to new highs. But then it will stabilize there and we'll try to get to even higher than that. So if there's less sellers, more buyers, prices are going up, and the main reason is the happening in the second half of 2020.
I see. Thanks a lot, Alex, for coming to us, for your answers. Before we finish, how about that we will make a small challenge with our subscribers, that they will start asking interesting questions below this video, and in a couple of weeks you or your team will select the best question, and let's say the winner will get $100 in Bitcoin or in Ethereum from Celsius network. How about that?
Sure, and happy to post also an answer in a video, so the winner will also get a personal response from me for the best question. Look, the message for your viewers is that I know people think that the speculators or the institutions are going to help us go to new highs, but really, I've been saying this for a long time, that in my view, the only people that can fix Bitcoin or Ethereum and get it to new highs are people like you and me, people that are interested in this being a replacement for the banking system. Because if we're just in it to sell the Bitcoin to somebody else at a higher price, if we're just a speculant or a speculator, then nothing is going to happen here, because sooner or later it's all going to collapse. But if we're in it to really replace the very expensive services, banking services that we use today, with things that act in our best interest, then 7 billion people can use it. And if 7 billion can use it, the price of Bitcoin is going to be $1 million each. So that's what the mission is. And if you really believe that, you, the viewer, if you really believe that, then your job is to bring many people into the cryptocurrency space. You can't just sit on the sidelines and hope that somebody is going to do it for you. You know, the anarchist, or the libertarian, or the speculator, those people have their own reasons, and your reasons should be making the world a better place, making the world more accessible to everyone. And by doing that, you will also feel very good about your contribution to these projects, which is what bring 10 million people on any of these cryptocurrencies. And Celsius is a very easy way to do that. In our app, you can use a service called CellPay, where you can use Skype or WhatsApp or email or SMS to send $5 or $2 to anyone you know. And by doing so, they don't need to have a wallet, they don't need to have an address, they don't need anything. You can very easily invite these friends, and giving is receiving. That's my recommendation.
Wow, thanks. I completely agree with what you said, Alex. Thanks again. And I'm encourage everybody to start participating in this challenge, to start asking interesting questions below this video, because as you know, in a couple of weeks you'll be able to win some awards from Alex and his team of Celsius Network. So thanks, Alex, for coming to us again, and wishing you good luck with Celsius Network, and hopefully that you can reach your goals very and very fast.